Bienvenidos. We are so excited for the 2026 Evidence-Based Practices Awardee Webinar. Mi nombre es Paula Nevares. I am the Graduate Student Associate for the Arizona HSI Consortium. I'm also a PhD student at the University of Arizona. So just a little bit about the consortium, about the evidence-based practices. But before we go into that, we just want to really express a congratulations to all of the evidence-based practices awardees. These programs are incredible. I have had the opportunity to be a part of these programs as to some of these programs as well. So I am so honored to be able to be showcasing them and just be a part of this as well and showcase all the incredible work that they're doing. So just a bit about evidence-based practices, the nomination process. This was created to create a community-informed process to identify, review, catalog, highlight, and share evidence-based practices within an HSI context. But most of all, it's answering these three questions, which is what works, for whom, and under what conditions. And this is something that we base the nomination process on. So the application is based on, we want to see demonstrated record of success for improving student outcomes. These applications also go through a systematic review process to evaluate the rigor of evidence that is being provided by these programs. But also we want to know that your program is intentionally being centered by serving us. How are you serving your student population? And that is something that we make very intentional for you to tell us about your institution, but also the student population that your institution hosts and how you are intentionally serving these students. And just a bit of overview, we have had 4 evidence-based practice cycles. We've received 28 nominations since 2022 and 16 have been awarded. We are so excited to be able to have so many nominations and to have so many amazing work that's happening across the state and to be able to highlight them in these spotlights, but also through our social media, our website, and so many other places. So without further ado, I'll pass it on to our facilitators who will be continuing our webinar for today. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Paulette, for that incredible introduction. My name is Dr. Mara Noemi Lopez. I'm the HSI Research Center Director at the University of Arizona, given the charge to lead a lot of our AZ HSI Consortium initiatives, including the evidence-based practice nomination process. So very grateful for you all to be here and to learn about the incredible work that's being done across the state by these incredible researchers, scholars, and practitioners. I just want to remind you that this will be recorded. It is a webinar, so we'll be sharing pieces of this webinar on our socials. We'll also be posting it a little later on our website. Now I want to introduce our co-chair, Dr. David Ariano.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. David Ariano. I serve as the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Student Services and Onboarding at Pima Community College in Tucson, Arizona. So very excited to share and just be here in the presence of the awardees today.
So we'll go ahead and kick it off with our first evidence-based practice nominees. And I also want to remind everyone that we will be doing a quick Q&A towards the end of this webinar as well. Go ahead.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ashley Linatus Gaffer. I am here representing the initiative called Food and Nutrition Stakeholders, or FANS. I am an associate professor of practice in the School of Nutritional Sciences and Wellness. I'm also a registered dietitian nutritionist by training. And this initiative is closely linked to broader pipeline development work that we have been doing in collaboration with the Wellness and Physical Education team at Arizona Western College since about 2018 to create more streamlined pathways, career exploration opportunities, and ultimately build out a strong nutrition and wellness, and more broadly, nutrition, wellness, food, and health kind of professions pipeline in Yuma, Arizona. Next slide, please. So, what is FANS? FANS is an initiative really focused on creating strong career readiness among students at any stage of that pipeline, whether they be at Arizona Western College, University of Arizona, undergraduate or graduate student. And this is serves as an advisory board for our collective efforts in this pathway, including the AA in Nutrition and Wellness at AWC, Nutrition, Exercise, and Wellness, Exercise, Wellness, and Nutrition. I always get the words in the wrong order. And the Bachelor's of Science in Nutrition and Dietetics at U of A Yuma, and as well as our Professional Science Masters in Dietetics program. So this advisory board is a group of stakeholders that are important to all of those academic programs and vice versa, because we're training that workforce. We have student mentoring opportunities that emerge out of this group, which is a key priority, and creating professional development for both our students as well as our alumni and our community partners. Next slide, please. And I just want to acknowledge that the funds initiative was really made possible, at least from, having funding to host events, bring people together as a part of the Saludables program, which is a USDA funded HSI grant that we have had and which has been extended through 2027. So it's a originally 4-year project, now a 5-year project in partnership with Arizona Western College. Next slide, please. And this is just a brief snapshot of sort of how we have utilized our grant, strategically utilized grant funding from the USDA HSI program to very intentionally build out the pipeline. And so within each 2 different grant activities, which I won't go into comprehensively, we are ultimately creating a lot of capacity and partnership around greater K through 12 and more focused on the high school level outreach and career discussions, strengthening opportunities for stacking credentials between the associates to the bachelor's to the master's degree, and ultimately helping build up a stronger nutrition and health workforce, kind of in this broader pursuit for great regional health equity and wellness in Yuma, Arizona. Next slide, please. So the student profile who ultimately is to benefit from these initiatives to strengthen this pipeline are 100% transfer student population, in that they attend Arizona Western College. Some students will attend Imperial Valley Community College and then come into the Bachelor's of Science at U of A in Yuma. The majority of our students in nutrition are first gen and are Latinas of Mexican origin. But of course, there is broader diversity within that group. And some of the major assets we have in our students is very strong career aspirations, a very strong work ethic and identity as someone who has a strong work ethic, navigational and linguistic skills. So really good at navigating that education system and utilizing their family support. And just the thing I want to say about that is there is already a very strong commitment to want to enter the workforce and make an impact in the community, which is part of this FANS initiative. Okay, next slide, please. So for the FANS group, we hold an annual in-person meeting. We send out about 3 newsletters a year where we highlight many aspects of our partnership, shared efforts that we've done to, promote careers in this area, partnerships in terms of our students spending time with community partners and projects that they've done together. So kind of illustrating all of the wins in our shared work together in the FANS network. And then, other networking events and things like that are featured as well. And we host our fans, we invite our fans to several kind of networking panels and things throughout the year. So we'll engage them in various activities, but our big thing each year is an annual in-person meeting and then our newsletters. Next slide. So I won't spend much time on this, but we have several fans and the network continues to grow. And we're always trying to find ways to show our appreciation to our broader group of stakeholders because it really kind of takes a village to do this work and to build a pipeline, especially in a rural community where there was a very critical shortage of nutrition and wellness professionals for a long time. It's really taken all of us coming together, exchanging information, discussing needs and opportunities to create this very supportive, sustainable program to train these professionals in the long term. Next slide. So the way currently the things that we use to evaluate our program is the success of this particular initiative is monitoring the number of food and nutrition stakeholders that we have, the number of, or not just the number of organizations, but the representation of different organizations and different types of professionals within our fans. We also, we do this evaluation work with our Saludables grant team, as well as engaging U of A nutrition students who are all AWC alumni in various aspects of qualitative assessment. And so just broadly, some of these impacts, and we can talk about it a little further in the panel, is that we have since about 2022, we have now a group of 80 food and nutrition stakeholders, and it continues to grow. We've gone from 8 organizations that we were originally working closely with to 16. And 15 of our graduates from our Bachelor's of Science in Nutritional Science and, well, they're all of our collective graduates actually, because they all are AWC, then U of A, and then at the graduate program, many of them. So we've had 15 total alums get work within the from organizations within the FANS network, so make those job connections and get a job. 6 graduate students have been placed with FANS to do over 1,000 hours each of very extensive experiential learning in an accredited dietetics training program. And we've had 8 4-credit undergraduate internships. Next slide. I think I'm pretty much done here. So actually, I'll just address this in the panel because we will talk about it, and I want to make sure that I can pass it off to our other teams for now. Okay, great.
Thank you so much. We'll go ahead and pass it on to the Joaquin Bustoz Math Science Honors Program.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Cindy Barragan Romero. I am the program manager for the Joaquin Bustoz Math Science Honors Program, and I'm going to pass it off to my colleague.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sierra Duran. I'm the coordinator of the Joaquin Bustoz Math Science Honors Program. So I will be going over the slides today. All right, so just an overview of the Joaquin Bustoz Math Science Honors Program. It's a summer residential math program. It's for high school juniors and seniors who are interested in their STEM careers. And the students get to live on campus, take that math or computer science course, and it's completely free. Next slide. Some of the benefits for the students, they get to experience that firsthand college life on campus at ASU. They get to live in the dorms, and then they get to earn those 3 math credits or a computer science class college credits, which we'll go over the next slide. They also get to get ahead on their prerequisites for a STEM major. We do go over other STEM majors and different STEM careers that they can learn and go into. We do have a lot of presentations, and they go over college readiness with different academic success tips. And then we also have guidance from current ASU students who we hire. And one of the biggest things is they get to meet like-minded students from across Arizona, which builds our community. Next slide. Okay, so these are the 4 classes that we offer and the dates. So we run from May 31st to July 10th. We offer college algebra, pre-calc, calc 1 for engineers, and principles of programming with Java. A day-to-day schedule, students are in lectures. They have a lot of problem sessions to do homework with the academic staff. They also have these academic success presentations with the coaching staff where they'll go over financial aid, scholarships, how to succeed as a STEM major. We also have different field trips. Like this year, we're hoping to go to Odyssey and some other social activities that they can do. So it's not just math. And then on the weekends, a lot of our rural students who can't go home on the weekends, they have the option to stay and do other activities. And those are completely free to them as well. We do offer a lot of opportunities for our ASU incoming freshmen, for the seniors that are coming into the program. So we do weekly meetings so that they can meet with all the freshmen and provide have that community. We do one-on-one mentoring with the current ASU staff that we hire, and we match them with their majors so that they can talk about other things like what are professors like and things like that. We'll help them with their financial aid. We'll look at all of their classes and like, hey, a lot of them like to go over like, that professor is really hard. Why don't you switch to this professor because, you know, he is a lot better and we liked him more. Things like that. Just learning to successfully transition into ASU. We like to tell them also where like tutoring centers are, what it's like to be in student clubs and the clubs that all of our students kind of like right now, or the different organizations that they can join, what it's like to have an on-campus job versus an off-campus job, and things like that. This is what we look for in applicants. So right now we're taking high school juniors and seniors. We do look at their unweighted GPA and we look for 3.25. We look at their math and science courses to see if they have A's and B's. We want the seniors, it's a requirement that they have to be admitted into ASU since we do transition them into campus. We do qualify, they have to qualify for Arizona in-state tuition and they must live in Arizona for at least 2 years. Some of our stats, about 73% of our students are first-generation college-bound students. 96% attend college after high school. 87% receive an A or B in their program courses, and 73% graduate and earn those STEM degrees. We do have partnerships and awards and things. So the STEM Push Network, we work with them very closely. Their NSF includes Alliance, and they help pre-college programs like ours to strengthen that nation's STEM workforce. And they target high school to college admissions students. We are one of the 10 pre-college programs that earned an accreditation for the progress that we make to broaden opportunity for Black and Brown, Latin, Indigenous students in STEM from the Middle States Association Commission. We are also a national finalist for examples in Excellencia that identify and promote programs like ours, departments and other community-based organizations. And then we also we got an award just last year for programs that make a difference for the American Mathematical Society. Here's one of the quotes from one of our students. This is Jalen. He said that the program taught him how to be a college student. It also introduced him to so many people that he calls his friends and that he hangs out with every day or on a daily basis. So he has that suggestion. Don't be afraid to socialize. It's the first step to success. Like I said, that community, like it's really important on campus for our students. And we also have, you know, a room here where they can socialize and get free tutoring, and that Cindy and I can, we're here for them to talk to them and give them advice as they need. And then here's our social media.
Thank you so much. We'll go ahead and move with Upward Bound Trio.
Alrighty. Hello, my name is Dr. Arlet Perez Rios, and I have the privilege of serving as a director for Upward Bound Trio, and my colleague, who you will get to hear from a little bit later during the chat, is here as well, Camila Armenta. And so I want to begin by saying how it is an honor to do the work that we do, and every day we just get to witness like the talent, the determination, the brilliance of the students, and ultimately our team and those who have a collaborative effort with us. And so some of them, as I see kind of like in the chat or on the webinar, you all have been a part of this effort as well. Next slide. And so, what is Upward Bound? We are a federally funded TRIO grant. It is a college access and success program designed to support students who have tremendous potential but may face systemic barriers to higher education. We primarily serve first generation and low income students, specifically from Pueblo and Choya High School within the Tucson Unified School District, and we're helping them be eligible and prepared for post-secondary education. We work with them in high school, but it doesn't stop there. We follow them through graduation and continue tracking them and connecting with them for up to 6 years into their college journey. And so this long-term commitment is central to our success and how we are able to kind of see the data as the years go on. Go ahead and go to the next one. And so our framework is our work is grounded in the Funds of Knowledge framework. We believe that our students are not empty vessels. They arrive with rich cultural, familial, experiential knowledge that is powerful and valuable. And our role as a program is to just build on those strengths. And so we also have a near-peer model where many of our mentors, peer mentors, and tutors and staff share similar backgrounds as the participants that we serve, and this creates a trust, belonging, and a powerful role modeling. And so our mentors are current undergrads who are currently students at the University of Arizona. And I think it is because of these two frameworks that why we're here today. And so selected as an evidence-based practice awardee, this recognition also affirms that what we do is meaningful and it's also effective. Next slide. And so what we provide our students, we offer a comprehensive year-round support. Our students, ideally, they would be freshmen in high school, and we serve them all 4 years. Doesn't always happen, we'll catch them their sophomore, junior year. But as a participant, we offer peer mentoring, and so this is individualized advising. Our mentors are going through different topics throughout the entire school year, and we also have academic tutoring to develop any skill development, develop anything else that they may need, math, Spanish, any type of exams coming up. We help support that, and these services are housed at their high schools, and so our staff goes out to the high schools Monday through Friday. On Saturdays, we have once a month, we have Saturday enrichment workshops. And so these are housed at the University of Arizona campus. And they're tailored workshops to learn from community members. We invite university faculty and staff as guest lecturers or keynote speakers. And we often learn from them, but they share or connect with our students in one way or another. And so these are supposed to be college simulated workshops that we do to kind of get them in the feel, and they're starting to see themselves at the university, see themselves as students. We also offer test preparation and college transition programming. And so we try to support them to test at a proficient level at ACT and on their ACT, but then also so that they score well on their college math entrance exams, right? Like we don't want them to take Math 100. We want them to test into college level math. We also have a 6-week summer program. During this time is when we hear our students and they give us feedback about what upward bound means to them, right? We're with them Monday through Friday, all day, every day. We eat together. It's project-based learning, and they have a capstone project where they get to present to their families, their friends, and the partners that have worked with us. And so we treat them like college students, although they are high school participants, right? We treat them like college students until it's during that time where we get to really see them grow, and we get to just really make that connection with them that is essential for the rest of their time in Upward Bound. And so that's when you'll hear them say like, oh, we're like a big Latino family. We like they get mad at each other and then the next day they're laughing again during lunch. And our goal is simple. It's just to remove barriers, build confidence, and create a clear pathway to higher education. Next slide, please. And so over the past 8 years, which to me feels like I don't even know where the past 8 years went, we have served 186 students. And when I say served, I mean sustained engagement. We are supporting them through high school, into college. We're working with their families. We're providing the information to their families in Spanish, and get to see the long-term impact. Next slide. And so we now have 134 Upward Bound alum. And so this May will increase that number. And so 80 of those students have matriculated to the U of A, 46 have attended in-state universities or colleges. 10 have pursued higher education out of state. So these are like liberal colleges, fully funded, Ivy Leagues. And then we have 8 students who have been nationally recognized scholars, so earning prestigious competitive scholarships. And then for the past several years, we've achieved 100% post-secondary enrollment from our graduating seniors. Next slide. And so our students are these are not just like highlights for our alum. Our current students are thriving. They have 98% of them maintain a GPA of 2.5 or higher. 42 demonstrate proficiency on standardized assessment, which again is huge for the students and the schools that we serve. 100% are completing rigorous college prep work, which means it's AP, honors, IB classes, dual enrollment, and then 98 of our students are retained and graduate from high school. And then last year alone, with our cohort of 20 students, they earned close to $600,000 in scholarships. And I'm waiting for somebody to invite me to coffee with their scholarship money. So I'll just keep hopeful. But this not only represents financial support, but it's like the recognition, right? Like the expanded opportunity that we're building here. And so next slide. And I feel we can end here, but again, all of this is possible because our families are so involved, our school partners, and even our campus constituents, even throughout the state of Arizona. And so yeah, it's just a little bit about us, but I'm sure we'll share more during the panel session. And if you want to get our contact information, screenshot, take a picture, contact us.
Thank you so much. Also, all social media contact information we'll be providing at the end of the webinar, and we'll also be providing a follow-up email. So no worries, we will get that to you. And for our next program, we will be moving to College Academy for Parents.
Hello, everybody. My name is Rudy McCormick. I serve as director for our Office of Early Academic Outreach, which hosts our College Academy for Parents program. And as you see on the screen, where that office's mission is very kind of focused on kind of expanding that opportunity of college education for students and families. So our mission in early academic outreach is to increase the number of students and families that aspire toward and are eligible to enroll in a university degree program. And so our College Academy for Parents is one of our programs and one of our initiatives that has been seeking to make sure that families know that college doesn't have to be a dream, that it can be a plan. Next slide. Awesome. So our College Academy for Parents really was started by two founders, Lori Tochihara and also Arlene Benavides. These two individuals had worked within our office, whether it was workshops that were inviting families in to come and learn about the college opportunity. Those workshops sometimes were 1 hour long. Sometimes they were a day-long program, and they were asking themselves, like, what if we actually kind of went beyond that workshop? What if we went beyond a day-long program? And they envisioned this College Academy for Parents program. So as you can see here, the program is a 12-week program, and it really is comprehensive. And I'll take the next few slides to talk about each of the components that engages families, both parents and students, in imagining what a college education can mean for the family. Next slide, please. Awesome. Before we go into those 4 components, I do want to mention that this began and has continued as a partnership with the Sunnyside Unified School District. We're currently serving our 22nd cohort. So the program has been around for 22 years. And as you can see there, as we celebrate this with families and let them know that we've been here for over 20 years, the cry back from the families is "Irente más," that the program needs to be here for the future. Our partners in the Sunnyside Unified School District have a beautiful mission that is every child, college, career, and community ready. And you can see, and I hope that you'll see as we talk about these components, how this works out. I'll point out this student here who, oftentimes with our students, we try to take pictures of them. This is a student, I believe she was in 8th grade at the time. And we took this picture of her in university regalia so that she could envision herself as a future college graduate. And I'll kind of speak to where the student is in just a little while. Next slide, please. So our 4 components of the College Academy for Parents. The first component is parent workshops. The program is 12 weeks long. You heard that right, 12 weeks long. So I want you to think about that as a family, to commit to attending a workshop for 12 weeks, Wednesday evenings from 6 to 8 p.m. Imagine kind of making that commitment. We, on an annual basis, have had groups of families, typically 50 to 80 families, that make that commitment on an annual basis. And you see them kind of in these pictures here in front of you. These families come out to participate. The parent workshops are bilingual. So we have one room where the parents are receiving information in English, and a separate room where the parents are receiving information in Spanish, so that nothing is lost in translation. In those workshops, we're talking about college preparation, but we're also talking about paying for college. And we bring in University of Arizona faculty members who also share career pathways, academic and career pathways that the families get to engage in. These are college classrooms that the families get to experience. Next slide. While the parents are in their workshops, we wanted to have the parents told us, what are we going to do with our children if you're asking us to come to these workshops? And we wanted to provide something that was different than childcare. College Camp was developed. College Camp is facilitated by college students from the University of Arizona that, of course, we train and we help to prepare so that they can facilitate age-appropriate workshops that mirror the information that the parents are receiving, but they present it to the students at an age-appropriate level. We may be talking to the parents about paying for college and financial, the free application for federal student aid, while the students may be playing a board game where they see that if they get good grades, that they could earn a scholarship. And the hope is that at the end of the night that these families are going home and that they're having conversations about what they learned in these workshops. So on any given evening, there's the 2 parent workshops and 5 college camp workshops that are happening on each of those app evenings out at a local middle school in the Sunnyside Unified School District. Next slide. Not only is it important for us to bring the University of Arizona out into the community, but it's also important for us to realize that many of our families have not stepped foot on the University of Arizona campus. 60% of our families tell us that they haven't been on the campus as a family. So we invite the families onto 2 academic showcases where we invite them onto campus. And our whole hope is that they start to see that the University of Arizona is their campus. This is their university, and that there's resources here for them and their family to engage, for them to enjoy, for them to utilize. We engage them in our Tucson Festival of Books, opening up with 2 local authors that present again in English and in Spanish, and we take them over to the rest of the Festival of Books. We've taken them over to our ENR2 building and kind of had them kind of see different experiences related to areas of science, technology, engineering, and math. This year, we're bringing them over to our museum day so that they can experience all the museums on campus as well. Next slide. The last campus visit is the most exciting one. Oftentimes, as parents, parents are used to going to see their children graduate and be recognized as they're completing different things. But in this case, it's the children who are coming to the University of Arizona to see their parents graduate from the program. So as you can see here, the parents receive certificates. They receive stoles for the time and energy that they put into the program. And the children oftentimes are in front of the stage taking pictures of their parents, so proud of this achievement, and also starting to envision themselves walking across these University of Arizona stages as future University of Arizona Wildcat or future college students, wherever their dreams may take them. We want to see them achieve that for themselves. Next slide. Here you've got our contact information. I want to, mention Susan Town, who's our coordinator. She's been our coordinator for the last 5 years. A lot of this work is hers. She does so much to engage the families, to go out, recruit families intensively by going into school events, by making phone calls to families. Anytime a family doesn't show up to an event, we call them to let them know that we noticed they were not there and that we miss them and that we want to see them there. She does so much of this work, and I'm just fortunate to be here. I've been here and have had the chance to see over 20 years of this program. So I've seen 5th graders that have come through and graduated from the University of Arizona. Some of them that now kind of here on campus working as professionals, some of them working outside of campus as professionals, serving the community in a number of different and beautiful ways. I'm just very, very fortunate to this program and to see its service to the community and to be able to be here in service as well. I also mentioned that Paulette was a former College Academy for Parents camp leader as well. And so we've seen so many of those students go on to wonderful things. This evening, one of those former college camp leaders is now a faculty member on campus. He's going to be working with our families, not as a college camp leader tonight, but as a University of Arizona faculty member in history. Dr. Carlos Barra will be doing so later this evening. So I'll pause there and we'll get into some more information as we continue. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all the presentations. I'm just so fired up by all of the amazing work that you are all doing, and I just I love hearing about everything that y'all are doing. So we're going to move on to our next section of the webinar, which is our panel questions that we'll be asking. And these panel questions are based off of the nomination process, and I'll kick it off to Dr. David Arellano, who will be taking on the facilitation of our first question.
Thank you, Paulette. So yeah, amazing, work by all of the awardees. And as we were going through the evaluation process, right, which is really rigorous, we knew these were the programs and initiatives that had proven value and ROI for our learners, and it was backed by evidence and data. So with that said, it segues us into our first question for our panel, and that is, what does the data reveal about the effectiveness of your program or initiative? How do you know it works? For whom does it work? And under what circumstances? So please jump in on that question.
I'll go first, and I would say that the primary thing that the data reveal from fans about the effectiveness of this program right now is that it is establishing meaningful connections for students to enter the workforce. And that is evident through the quantitative data around internship, graduate level dietetics experiential learning, and job placement that we've seen in our small program, but also through qualitative mechanisms in that, we maintain ongoing partnerships with our fans, and we have seen time after time jobs be created and filled by our graduates through this kind of community network of keeping fans in the know about students who are going to be graduating, about fostering those earlier connections between them, and then, seeing where the students are ending up. And so that's, I think, high level what we see the data revealing about the effectiveness. But there's a lot of other nuanced qualitative things that we have seen as well, because when we bring our fans together, we always do collective work to discuss and come up with to discuss the workforce needs, emerging workforce needs, gaps in terms of skill sets that they're looking for among that workforce, jobs that maybe don't yet exist, but that places are considering. So a lot of those discussions are captured in qualitative data, and we know that that's making some difference as well. And there's also a lot more work to do in establishing and developing our evaluation plan for this. And how do we know it works? I kind of touched on that. For whom, I would say primarily it's working, I think, for our students in terms of seeing their experiential learning placement and job outcomes. But it's also clear that it is working for our fans through the feedback that they provide us, and through their continued engagement and participation, and kind of that growing sustained engagement. And under what circumstances? Well, we know that this is working in the context of the nutrition, food, and wellness community within Yuma, Arizona. And that includes our academic institutions, AWC and U of A, but it also includes kind of the unique network of community partners and organizations that exist in that in the very unique geographical and community context of Yuma, which is in the borderlands. It's there's multiple tribal nations in that region. We're straddling Arizona and California and Mexico. Yuma is a very unique place as a community. So those are the circumstances we know that is working in. There's a huge community commitment to developing this pipeline. And, maybe it's not transferable in the same way everywhere, but these circumstances are contributing to the success.
Thank you. Any other awardees would like to add to the question?
I can go ahead and go next. I apologize for my voice. I'm getting over the flu right now, so I will try my best. But some of the things that the data reveals about our summer program is that we are helping students continue on to college and persist in STEM. The students, once they graduate, about 60% of them end up at ASU. So we're able to do GPA comparisons for students who have attended the program versus non-JBMSHP students. And our students, especially when we're looking at STEM majors and within the College of Engineering, will do 10 to 15% better and higher GPAs than students who did not attend the program. So the data is showing that we are helping to prepare those students who, again, are predominantly first generation and or low income students from the state of Arizona. That's something that we're very, very excited about. As we mentioned, 60% of those kids come to ASU. The other 40% do go on either to community college. We do lose a lot of our students to U of A, and I realize that this is a very U of A heavy panel. I always make fun of U of A to Rudy, but we have like tremendous success of our students attending U of A, especially our students who are going out of state as well. The data that we collect from National Student Clearinghouse shows us that these students, again, are persisting in STEM, even if they're not at ASU. The skills that they learn at the program, the community that they build, they have this really great math science community at NAU and U of A, at ASU. It's awesome to be able to see. We have, for whatever reason, Stanford is a really big school where a lot of our students go. And I've had emails from students like, oh, I saw somebody wearing like a program shirt and like, cool, I love the fact that I have someone here at Stanford from that community that gets where I'm coming from. We have a lot of alumni that come back and, give back, whether it be career panels, alumni donations. So the fact that we're still hearing from our students and again, seeing those numbers of engineering graduates, of STEM graduates, within the last, we just celebrated our 40th anniversary. So that's something that we are very proud of, again, to be able to continue this track and be able to see, as stated in one of our earlier slides, that 73% of our college grads receive STEM degrees. That's a really big deal for us. And again, that we've been helping with the state of Arizona for our high school graduates. That's something that we're extremely proud of.
Thank you. I think it's important to note how the work at one Arizona HSI can impact all Arizona HSI. So thank you for sharing that, Cindy. U of A Trio, can you jump in?
Yeah. Well, one that also makes me happy that they come to the University of Arizona. So I'm siding with Rudy on that one. But I know I shared some data in my presentation, but I mean, what I shared was the data shows that Upward Bound is highly effective for preparing first-gen low-income students for post-secondary education. In the past 3 years, we've had 100% post-secondary enrollment, which means that these students feel prepared for college and that they're taking that step. They're academically prepared, and I believe a lot of it has to do with our cultural grounding, right? We're providing information to their families. They also feel we know that college is a family decision, and as Rudy mentioned, right, it's a whole family affair. It's not just one student and they get to decide, but they all feel that support, and so they all feel college ready to achieve their goals. And then, as I mentioned, notably, 80% of them have matriculated to the U of A. 46 of them are at either Pima Community College or other state universities, including ASU. And so I feel like what makes this work, and this is what the students have also shared and the families, is that we're embedding university resources directly into their communities. This approach affirms that student identities are validated, their lived experiences are validated, that they belong at the table, and they belong in these college spaces. It's also, I think a big part of the success is the access to mentoring, culturally relevant curriculum, especially in our summer program. With 5 minutes, right, I didn't have the time to go into everything that we do in the summer, but part of it is also the past 3 years we've participated in a community art workshop where we have taken our students into their communities, South Tucson, and we have 3 murals around South Tucson that they painted, and they get to kind of beautify their community, and it makes them proud. One, they're proud to be back there. They're proud to then show it off, and most importantly, what they show through our report, our mentoring reports, our academic tracking, the student surveys, is that they have increased confidence, stronger academic persistence. They're graduating. We're now being able to see the fruits of our labor, right? Where our students are graduating from the universities now, or community college, but it's that clear post-secondary goals that they have. And so I think for whom this works is that part of it is not just bringing them to the universities, that we go out into their schools Monday through Friday. And so they have us there constantly. It's a community-centered model. We bring the tutoring, we bring the mentoring to their high schools, and that proximity makes college feel accessible and attainable.
Thank
And
you
then
so
on top of
much.
that, just to add one more thing, I know before
Of
you
course.
is that we're starting to see the alum return. We have students who went through the Upward Bound program and come back as tutors and as mentors. And then also, even if they're, I have an alum who's at Yale, and he comes back in the summers to work with us. And so again, just to be able to see that that reinforces the servingness that's happening, because they want to come back, they want to serve, and that community rooted support system for future cohorts as well. Okay.
Thank you so much, Arlette. All right, for our last, the College Academy for Parents, and Rudy, I'm gonna pose. We got about 1 minute for this question before we move on to the next.
Great. Let's see. Sunny State Unified School Districts, the district we're working with, highly Hispanic, highly Title I, means low income, right? Highly first generation. So populations that we're serving there. Over 21 years have served 1,163 families, which results in serving 3,326 students over those 21 years. We have seen that largely that these families tell us through pre-post surveys that their college knowledge increases through the workshops and through the experiences of coming onto the campus and the engagement with faculty and staff. And we see greater levels of increased college knowledge gains for Spanish-speaking families. Why? Because this information is hardly ever presented in the language of their choice. So this speaks to the importance of presenting this information in Spanish. This information it's really critical that it be presented in language of choice. Why do we feel that it works? We have had 2 students write dissertations on this program. We have invited researchers to come in, and papers have been written on this program. That's not a brag. It's an open invitation to come into the program and assess it, to tell us what's good, to tell us what's bad, to tell us where it can improve. But we also have seen the program, other colleagues come in and replicate this program. The Ohio State University created a program called the Blueprint program, where they took this program to Ohio State, and they decided there to start by serving African American families, and then they started to serve another community that was largely Latino. We have another case here in the state of Arizona where the Chinle Unified School District worked with us, and they replicated the program, and they called it the College and Career Academy for Parents and Students. For the last, I think, 4 or 5 years, they've had that program up and running, serving Dene students in Northern Arizona. The whole notion is, how do you take a program and really think about how do you meet the needs of families in a comprehensive way to help students and families develop a college plan for their children. I think if folks are doing that there's ways to expand this, there's ways to replicate this in a meaningful way that impacts students and families and their educational trajectory. 3 minutes.
Thank you, Rudy.
I love it. Thank you so much, everybody. I feel like there's still so much more information that we can gather from everybody, so much more data, so much more evidence, so much more understanding about the experiences you and your participants and everyone involved in your program have. But we are running out of time. So let's go to the next question. Rudy, you're going to be the first to answer this one because your time was cut a little short. So for this question, how is your program intentionally advancing servingness for your students, for the community, or the institution? And what does servingness mean in the context of your project? Rudy?
Yeah, I want to again do a call back to Arlene Benavides and Lori Tuchihara, who, when they started this program, they started off by really engaging families in the Sunnyside Unified School District, and they started off by doing listening circles. They gathered families and they started to ask the families like what they would want out of a comprehensive college program. And that, families said, that they wanted more information about college preparation, and so the parent workshops were born. Families had a question about where they would leave their children if they were coming to weekly workshops. So College Camp was born. They heard from the families that even though these schools are just 20 minutes from the University of Arizona campus, that they have not stepped up foot on the University of Arizona campus. And so they decided we need to bring those families onto the University of Arizona campus through the academic showcases. So I think that servingness means making sure that we're listening to our communities as we're developing our programs, that we're making sure to kind of include their perspectives. When we talk about college preparation, we oftentimes start with what the families know, which is there's so much there. We will ask families, we'll sit families in groups and we'll tell them, we're going to ask you to create a college, a fictitious college. Tell us what the admission strategy, what are the admissions components for your college? They come up with some amazing things. They talk about diversity, they talk about community service, they talk about good grades, all things. And then we can kind of show them how our universities are doing admissions and build upon what they already know. Instead of coming in and saying, guess what, you all don't know anything, let me tell you what admissions is all about. We can instead build upon what they already know. So we have a really strong focus on funds of knowledge and building upon what families already know, to kind of uplift them. These 2-hour workshops are not kind of us they're talking, it's a conversation with the families, really kind of again bringing forth what they know and building upon that, and helping them again to get closer to their students and their families' goals. Thank you.
All right, Arlette?
I'll let Camila share a little bit on this one.
Thank you. So when it comes to answering this question, our program serviceness is in the core of every aspect that we try to ingrain in our programming. Our commitment to serviceness is seen in our intentional presence within the communities. Oftentimes, Arlette and I are always talking about how we always try to aim to be ingrained in the communities and not implanted in them. Our Saturday academies and our summer programs may take place at the University of Arizona campus, but every day that we're here in mentoring, tutoring, workshops, we're bringing the University of Arizona into the students' neighborhoods, into their schools. And so by being physically at the schools, our mentors, our staff, our work that we're able to do, not only are we able to reduce barriers to access and establish trust within our communities, but also really show that college preparation really does begin with relationships and not requirements. A key component of our community-centered approach has definitely been our undergraduate staff. All of them have had similar backgrounds to what our participants have. Many of them have deep knowledge of the communities that we serve. We've eaten at the same restaurants as our students, and they have as well. And like Arlette mentioned, a lot of them are coming from the schools that we serve. And so our staff members in real time are working with students and are able to bring down barriers and misinformation that comes with going to college as first generation students, that many of our staff members know what that feels like. On the guest speakers that we bring in to our Saturday academies, the U of A faculty folks that we work with year round, a lot of them reflect students' identities, predominantly Latina or BIPOC professionals. In real time, they're not only honoring students' lived experiences by sharing their own, but in a lot of ways, students are able to visualize their own success through this storytelling that we bring into our our students every single day in the summer and every time that we provide service in our office hours or in our Saturday academies as well. And so with that, we really try to emphasize this idea that our families really do place a lot of trust with us, and we know that. And so our information and our representation and commitment to serviceness goes beyond just people and staff. We try to do it in linguistically with our families as well. So all the information from workshops to curriculums to what we're doing in the summer, all of it is translated from English and Spanish to make sure that our families feel fully engaged. We know that they place a lot of trust in us, in our Upward Bound program, and this is a responsibility that we do not take lightly. We want them to feel included in their scholars' college process and college journey as well. And so with that, even in these trying times, we remain true to our Upward Bound values of service and community. In the middle of the administration and the cancellation of other Upward Bound programs all across the nation this last summer, we've continued to remain committed to our communities and to this idea of service when it comes to them. And so like Arlette had mentioned earlier, whether it is our summer murals or digital storytellings that our students do through videos or map stories, our students are able to tell their own stories centered around their identities, really articulate issues that matter to them, and really showing how they can bring themselves holistically and who they are into these spaces without having to be a watered down version of who they really are. And so we honor our students, our families, and communities every day in our programming. And for us, this is our commitment to serviceness.
Oof. So many gems, so many gems. Cindy, would you like to go next?
Well, Camila pretty much stole every answer I had, much more eloquently than I could have said it. So I appreciate that. But kind of to go off of what Camila was saying is very similar to the program where our students is we're trying to do the same thing when it comes to STEM. When we think of STEM, we stereotypically think that it has to be older, predominantly white, predominantly male dominated. So when I think of, oh, I'm a 16-year-old female Latina, and I want to go into engineering, well, I don't really see anyone that kind of looks like me. So maybe that's going to detract me from going into a STEM major. And one of the things that's really great about the program is that roughly every year we get about 50 to 60% of our alumni that come back and work as summer staff. So we do have some of those near peer summer staff, exactly like Camila, had mentioned before, where I am currently an engineering major. I am a Black female, and I am getting a 4.0. I mean, those are really powerful things for our students to be able to see that. Not only are there people from their communities who look exactly like them, who again talk like them, in that near peer kind of environment where they are living together for 6 weeks, and they really get the opportunity to know that, to say, you know what, that's kind of cool. I've never met someone before in a major that I really wanted to go into. And that is really, really powerful, especially for our students that are coming from really small rural areas or that are coming from these really huge Title I schools that, again, may not have the opportunity to make those one-on-one connections. In addition, we do have those career panels where we also bring our alumni back, to be able to talk to them like, I'm currently an engineer, I'm currently in data science, I'm currently in all of these majors. It's just a really great opportunity, especially for the students who have never been able to do that before. So that is something that is really helpful for our students. And then just being able to see someone who looks like them once they graduate and then come to ASU, for those of them who do. Right now, we have a lot of our freshmen who are like, I really want to come and work for the program because they have that sense of, this is what the program gave to me. I want to make sure that I'm paying this forward and then doing this for other students. So I definitely agree. And it's great to see that, with us, with TRIO, with all of these other programs, that's a model that really, really helps. So definitely for us, trying to get these students like underrepresented, minority, low first generation, low income students into STEM, that is definitely something that's working for us as well.
Wonderful. Ashley.
I'll
Yes.
take it, Ashley.
Okay,
Is that
great.
okay?
Thanks, Bale. Yep, please do.
Yeah, awesome. So I'm currently at U of A Yuma, and I think we definitely embody what servingness is. We have about 86% of our students who are Hispanic, 76% that are first generation. So I think when it comes to servingness, we're always looking for ways to provide transformative experiences to our students. Regarding the specific grant for Saludables, I think it's also about making sure that the education that is being provided It's meeting the real needs of our community, right? And our students as well. From the fans' perspective, you know, we have this great group of stakeholders that are providing constant feedback. They're being those mentors to our students and being kind of those examples that you're talking about, how important it is to see other people who have been successful. So I think it's really important to have the fans group to be able to identify what are the local health challenges, the workforce gaps, but also what are some of the things that the students have been experiences as professional now. We've been thinking about ideas of maybe polling in them about case studies to be used in the classroom, you know, it's specific for becoming a registered dietitian. So overall, I think our goal is to make sure that we are building those leaders that are homegrown professionals, that, you know, they're going to stay here local, they understand the culture, the language, the needs. And it's like great program because some people might say, you know, we're really small over here, right? We don't have as many students, but the impact that we're having in our community is huge. Going from having no registered dietitian in our community to having, what are we now up to, getting close to 10 maybe, Ashley, or 6,
Yeah.
7, 8?
Yeah,
Right?
we've got people in flux taking their test, but yeah, we're pretty close to 10 new
Yeah. So, you know,
dietitians in a few years.
from a few years ago where there was no registered dietitian in our community, you know, that's a huge impact. So it might not sound like a lot, but it makes a huge difference. So, you know, I think overall we continue to provide that servingness, the land grant mission in our community. So I'm really happy that we have partners like Ashley from In Campus that want to do things here in Yuma and really strengthen that relationships. And even though we're far away, we still feel part of the same team. And I think we need to continue building that.
I love it. Thank you all for your very intentional responses. Again, one of the parameters for being nominated for the EBP, the evidence-based practice process, is describing how you are intentionally centering your work on servingness and describing within the application process what servingness meant to you. So while you all shared that with us in the application, we really appreciate you sharing here, you know, hearing things like how you are intentionally focused on listening, centering community, practicing multilingualism, multiculturalism, increasing representation. All of that matters. So we really appreciate you sharing all of the great work and how you're practicing servingness. Next question, last question before we kick it to the community of listeners for their questions. Again, for those of you that are still listening in the webinar, please feel free to ask any questions in the chat. We will have a little bit of time so that the folks that work on the projects that you're inquiring about can field those questions. So the last question, and this question is kind of leaning into a little bit of levity, right? So we want to hear the impact story. Tell us about a time when you knew or when it clicked for you that your program really mattered or was making a difference. This could be anecdotal, qualitative data, could be a moment, could it be a reflection? So feel free to share, and we'll reverse the order again. So Ashley's program, go ahead.
Yes, hi, good afternoon. Oh, yeah, good afternoon. My name is Tanya Rodriguez. I'm the academic advisor for nutrition and grant coordinator at the University of Arizona Yuma campus. And it's funny how you're asking that question because I had my moment yesterday. I was able to go to the hospital to do the celebration for a registered dietetics, and it was fun, and it was so amazing just to see 8 of them sitting in the table and how they went through the process of programs just like U of A, and also seeing some of our current graduate students and undergraduate students working at the hospital within their area. For me as an advisor, it gave me that aha moment of the program is working, the way they evolve and involve themselves within the industry. And I think that's something that our stakeholders and fans are a part of. And also, you know, for me as an advisor, yes, we are a program in nutrition, but the best part is the way we are educating our students to serve the community, to serve their families, because a lot of students, and I have talked with Dr. Banas and Ashley about this, I get to sit with the students a lot of times, and I know why they're going into nutrition, because they want to help their families that have heart issues, the community. They see all these health issues that are going on and taking lives, and they want to make sure that they better them. So when we invite them to FANS, for me is interesting to see how they kind of embed themselves within people they have never met, but they want to learn from them. And then one of the things that we're doing this upcoming month is we're doing a network night with our fans who are going to be coming and providing maybe summer internship or any type of resource that the student can do during the summer within the organization, so they can get that hands-on learning experience. Because our programs at U of A Yuma, specifically with nutrition, we are an experiential learning facility where our students actually go out into the real world and practice what they're going into their field of major of choice. So I think it's moments like this that, for me, and not only for me, but for the team itself, like, proves to us that the work that we're doing matters and that we're doing it the right way with all of our stakeholders helps, and the team that we have at U of A.
I don't know why I felt like I was starting to get a little choked up. I mean, that's a huge deal. That's huge. You're changing the trajectory of so many students' lives. And I hope that everyone that's working with the project, are able to really sit in the magnanimous impact that you're making with the work that you're doing.
Thank you.
Cindy?
So I have my aha moment every year, every summer, which is actually really cool. A lot of the times when our students come, it is a program that's open statewide, so we do get a lot of students that are coming from smaller rural areas. I myself came to this program. I am also from Yuma, so shout out to everybody in the FANS program for all your hard work. I love it. And my colleague Sierra is also from Casa Grande, so we know what it's like to come from a smaller rural area into this like scary big town, that we call Phoenix, to come to college. And so a lot of times when we talk to students and when we talk to parents at their closing ceremony, the parents, the second we say thank you, for having a great summer, and everyone bolts, we have a beeline of parents just coming. A lot of times with tears, a lot of times, hugs and thank you so much. We've seen such a huge difference. We haven't seen our kid in 6 weeks because it is a residential program. So they'll say, before they were talking about maybe I'll join the Army, maybe I'll go to community college. They know that they're smart and they want to go to college, but they don't know how they're going to pay for it. They don't know how they can apply for it. And the parents start seeing the changes in their kids week by week. Wow, now they're talking about doing engineering. Now they're talking about, using the college app to be able to apply out of state. And now they're talking about this. And now the opportunities that the parents feel that now their students have because of this short time that they spent in the program. So it is really, really cool and very humbling, because sometimes I think for all of us, we get so busy in the day-to-day. Is this kid okay? We get so busy wrapped up in all these things that we don't take the time to take a step back. And, we're not sitting there like, patting ourselves on the back all the time, but knowing that we're making a difference even in one kid and 20 kids, however many kids' lives, and then the parents' lives, because that's not only changing a student's trajectory, it's the whole family and the generation behind them and, everyone else in their community that they're helping with. So I love that. Closing ceremony for me is like the best time. I wish I had more time to be able to talk to all the families. We also do a parent survey at the end, again, in English and Spanish, because we do want to make sure that we are encouraging everyone to kind of let them know. And some of the comments that come into there as well are just, it's my favorite. I love it. And definitely have been some tears in some of these conversations, which is really cool.
I love that. Shout out to small towns. First of all, I'm from the Imperial Valley, so I'm very familiar with Yuma. Yuma was our big city town back in the day. But Cindy, yeah, thank you so much for sharing. I mean, what you said is it matters, right? You're changing the lives and trajectory of your students' decision-making, self-efficacy, their career choices moving forward. You've opened up a world of possibility for them and given their parents a sense of confidence that they can support them by giving them a better understanding of what options are available to their students too. So thank you so much for sharing and for the work that you do. Arlette, Camila?
Yeah, I'll share a story of one particular student. And so her name is Alicia Salazar. She joined Upward Bound as a freshman in high school because she was encouraged by her cousins who were currently in the program to join. And so right away we already had that buy-in because her family knew about us. Her tia was able to talk to her parents, and she joined right away and participated in everything all 4 years. She stayed engaged through tutoring, our office hours, her one-on-ones, the Saturday workshops, the summers. And Alicia was a student who was a straight A student, high achieving, and so she had other programs who also supported her. And so she was also in a specific program that is for low income, high achieving students. Um, and what stood out to me that as she was kind of navigating both programs is that she continuously came back to myself or the Upward Bound staff to check in and seek the guidance that she was getting from the other program because she didn't feel seen. They didn't understand her family. They kept telling her, you need to leave in order to be successful. And that didn't sit well with her. And to me, I think that was the first moment in which I felt like she was being really served by our program. And so it wasn't just creating an environment where students, just get to check some boxes. It's they belonged and they felt that commitment in return. Alicia today is a senior. She'll be graduating at the University of Arizona from speech language and hearing sciences, and she has 8 fully funded offers to graduate programs nationwide in speech pathology from Boston, UT Austin, Indiana, New Mexico. And I want to mention that she also, when she was she was the first student to get a Flint Scholar from Cholla High School. And that other program never encouraged her to do that. And she was the first one because I basically forced her. I'm like, you're not leaving until you finish this, right? But because of that, she's been able to study abroad in Finland. She's gone to Brazil. She's going to Italy this summer. And it's opened up a lot of opportunities for her. And during her time here at the university, I always kept asking her, like, do you want to be a mentor now? How about now? How about this last semester? But she has been so ingrained within her speech program that she's been in research labs. She's in McNair, another TRIO program. And she wants to stay here. She wants to pick the University of Arizona and not go somewhere else in the nation, because to give back to the community that served her because of the bilingual program that's here. And clearly it's also a reflection of the university and how it also has served her, right, as a student. And she wants to serve that community. And so the impact doesn't stop there. We now serve her sister, who's a current junior in high school. And so we get to work with her sister, who's also just as amazing, and I can't wait to see everything that she does. But just to kind of tap into like what Cindy also mentioned is that one of the big moments that I think allows for us to continue to come back year after year is that impact that you're talking with the parents, right? And so during Alicia's years in Upward Bound, her father came up to me and always in tears because it's also, at one of the ceremonies. And he wanted to let me know that as he had been navigating Upward Bound with his daughter, and eventually we were going to have his younger daughter, that he had made the decision to return to school and complete his associate's degree to advance his career in HVAC. And so that's when I knew that the work that we were doing doesn't just isn't for one student. It's about transforming a family trajectory, right? It's building confidence across generations. It's about creating a ripple effect that strengthens communities, right? Our workforce. And that was a moment that I'm like, I want to tear up every time. And so just to be able to see that and be a part of that is our moment or at least my moment that I always want to talk about.
Please don't ever stop talking about it. That's amazing. I love how she was supported by all of your group, her family, that she's continuing on to spread the good word of the work that you do. I also like that she's a little motivated by spite. I can relate, and that she kept going to be as successful as she has been. So congratulations to you in the program. Rudy, last but not least.
I had shown that picture of a young student who was dressed in the University of Arizona garb. That is Kiara Miranda. She currently works with our program, so we have a good history of having former program participants come back to the University of Arizona and then work for the program as college camp leaders. But so what would I say? So she's here at the University of Arizona. She's in her third year. She's graduating as a third year in her third year, which is not very common, but that's awesome. It says a lot about her, not about our program, but says a lot about her. Her sister, her younger sister, is also here at the University of Arizona. Both were supported by a scholarship that's given to our office. Former program participants. The Morgan family provides a scholarship. That's a donor family that has thankfully found our office and is supporting some of the program participants that are meeting in our programs. And so we're very grateful to the Morgan family. So she has worked for the program now for 2 years, but she's also working with TUSD's Mexican American Student Services Department. She's helping families there develop their college plan in that district. And then after she's looking to graduate from the University of Arizona, she's looking to do her master's in social work. So she's kind of looking to give back in these different ways as well. So that's one story. Another quick story that I'll share is that earlier this year, I got an email from a parent who said, I don't know if you remember my daughter. She was in a video, your College Academy for Parents video. She must have been in third grade, I believe, at the time. But she let me know that her youngest daughter just is in the process of graduating from high school right now. Just got admitted to the University of Arizona, got admitted to nursing, to honors college, and received a sizable merit award as well. She still is looking for more scholarship opportunities, so we connected her with some resources, let her know about that Morgan scholarship as well. But to know that that family who participated in the program, what must have been maybe 7, 8 years ago, was reaching back out to update us on where they were, and to hear that they're still on that trajectory and that they kind of were recalling our program after this number of years and reconnecting with us. We were just really, again, it touches the heart. We put these experiences in front of our staff, in front of our students, and we let them know that there's this grand opportunity to serve and to impact others' lives. And it's a great place to be.
Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you all for sharing, again, all of your data, all the great work that you're doing with your projects, the impact stories, and all the good work. So far, no questions in the chat, but I do want to share one comment made by Dr. Marla Franco. She's the co-founder of the AZ HSI Consortium, and she said, "Great work, everyone. Your leadership is essential to centering servingness across Arizona in ways that truly make a difference in the lives of our students." So we all mirror that sentiment and really appreciate your efforts as always. And we will continue to amplify all of your work through our socials. We'll be posting this webinar on our YouTube channel and then kind of spreading the good word of your work as often as we can throughout the year. But if no one has any additional questions, we have about 6 minutes left in the webinar. We are literally right on time. So good job, everyone, for sharing all you did with the time frame that we had. I know it wasn't easy. Does anybody have any questions? Any final thoughts, the panelists, you'd like to share? Oh, we have one question. Hold on. Question: what recommendations do these awardees have for those considering nomination in the future?
Can I go? Okay, I think just don't be discouraged by the idea that you don't have evidence, because you probably do. And That's why I didn't apply for this in the past. I'm like, gosh, we have so many great things going on, but I just don't know how to talk about it. And it never feels like we're evaluating formally enough. And so this year, we sat down and worked on this proposal and really looked at like what data do we have? What do we know? Yes, there might be other things that we know we're not yet gathering or evaluating, fully analyzing and whatnot. But I think just going through that exercise and just sitting down to write this proposal helps you think critically in a focused way. And I just want to encourage people not to like, don't uh, don't exclude yourself because you don't think you have evidence for your practice, because you very well probably do.
I will quickly echo what Ashley mentioned in terms of just that I think that the opportunity to reflect always has kind of benefit, whether it kind of results in you receiving the recognition or not. It always is a great opportunity to kind of reflect where your program has been, the data that you have. And it can also kind of get you to that point of asking yourself, like, oh, well, there is data that may be missing. Like, why is that? And how do we make sure that we integrate that into the future? So I think the reflection component is really, I think, oftentimes something that I really appreciate about these opportunities. Would recommend.
Would anyone else like to share or respond? No? Any other questions in the chat? None thus far. Any closing thoughts from the panelists?
I just have a quick final thought that I wanted to mention is I'm grateful for everyone that's here, that's on the panel, for kind of doing their own thing within the community, but how important it is for those partnerships that we talk to each other. So like Rudy and our program, Rudy's been one of our longtime colleagues with STEM Push Network, and then helping to see some of those ripple effects. So Paulette is one of my former students. So to see her here and just being amazing, I cannot be just more proud of her and all the work that she's doing. So I think it's really cool to be able to do things like this where we're able to see, the effects from all of our efforts. I think is really cool. And again, shout out to Paulette because I love her and she's amazing. So.
Heard. Agreed. 100%. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much, panelists. We encourage you to use this evidence-based practice badge and post it everywhere you feel important, your website, your social media, however it is you see that you could benefit from sharing it. Again, we'll be posting this webinar fully on our website and on our YouTube channel. We'll also be sharing it with everyone that registered for the webinar. Thank you all so much. Continue to do the great work across the state and impact people for generations to come. Thank you so much.